What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel, and today we are going to be taking a look at my new tripod, or my new addition to my photography setup, which is the K&F Concept tripod, which you can see on the screen now. Now, obviously, K&F Concept have a very weird naming scheme, so I ain't going to try and pronounce this. I'll put it on the screen rather than trying to pronounce it and enunciate whatever numbers and letters come up with this, because I wish they would do a better job of naming the products and giving them actual names. But this is a very lightweight tripod. It's very nice, but it's a lot taller than the previous one that you can just see behind me, just in the corner over there. That is my combat travel tripod, which is carbon fiber and weighs absolutely nothing, which I did a video on recently. Now, honestly, this tripod is great for what it is. It's very flimsy and unstable, depending on, you know, what you kind of put on it, how heavy the load is, and everything like that. So, today, the box is opened on its own. I've just taken the tape off. But yeah, let's get it out of the bag and have a look. So, obviously, it looks like the bag is quite a bit bigger. It's quite a bit bigger of a tripod in terms of the structure of it and everything like that, which is what I wanted, really, because I need something that's going to be lightweight and that I can carry around with me, but is also going to be stable enough and good enough to put big lenses and heavy cameras and whatever else on it. So, what has just fallen out here? So, immediately, what's fallen out is a camera switch or remote camera button, which is quite useful. I don't know how that's going to work. In the box, we then, or in the bag, we then have the tripod itself, which you can see right here in this bag. I will get to that in a moment, and we'll have a look at what else is included. It looks like there is a adjustable phone mount, or a phone mount of some kind. I'm assuming it's adjustable. Yes, it is. It's an adjustable phone mount, as you can see there. I'll put that over there. And then we have another bag here. And what else is in the bottom? Okay, so, well, that was ripped. But we have a ball head, which is what I ordered. I ordered the ball head variant. And then in the actual bag itself, we just have some silica gel at the bottom, which is, you know, general packaging thing. What we do have in this bag is an Arca Swiss plate, or spur Arca Swiss plate, and also 3 feet. So the feet are actually separate when you first get it out of the bag. Now, we have an Arca Swiss, which is mounted to the ball head here. As you can see, we have an Arca Swiss there, and there is an included Arca Swiss bracket, which is exactly the same in here as well. So as you can see, you've got multiple Arca Swiss plates, and they're both the same. This actually has a nice little level on here as well, which is good. But now, what we'll do is we'll get out the tripod. So let's see. So you'll notice a difference if you guys have watched my previous tripod video. This one has a different locking mechanism to what I'm used to. So this is the clasp, and you open the clasp, slide the leg out. That's not an issue. It's just different to what I'm normally used to. And the clasps are plastic, so they may break over time, or were over time, for example. But you can still open everything up and just get that sorted like that. And now we actually have, as you can see, if I go that way, you still can't see the end of this. So you can see how long it is if I do that. It's very long. And looking at the height of it, this is the exact reason I actually bought this tripod. Now, let me just get the legs out all the way. So we'll just lock them in place at the maximum length. Get that all locked in. And the other thing is that's good as well, which I liked about the other tripod, is you can open all of those at once. Now, On the other tripod, it was just a simple twist and they would all open. On this, it's just flicking them all open. This obviously takes a little more room or a little more time, slightly, but not by much. So obviously the height of this is almost perfect, or it might actually be perfect. Now, I haven't yet attached anything to it to see how high the thing is, but we haven't put the feet on yet, so I'll put the feet on first. One thing I will say about the feet is they are very well built, they're very bulky, and they also have, as you can see here, a nice ball socket joint, so you can basically point the foot in whatever direction you need it to go, which is really, really useful, especially on very uneven ground. So what I'll do now is I'll flip this up so that I can get to the feet. I should have probably done the feet before I actually locked everything in. But, you know, very, very easy to, you know, add the feet. Just literally spin it round until it gets to the point where it locks on. And you can see now that is now spinning this rather than actually screwing it in. So that is where you hit your limit. And again, we'll do the same for each one. I'll speed this up. What? Sure. Alright, so those feet are now on, as you can see. And if we switch it over, we open this out and we log it down, you can see where the height of this sits already is very, very nice. Now, what we'll do is, because I've already got an Echo Swiss plate on the bottom of my camera, I've already got an Echo Swiss plate on the bottom of the camera. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this Echo Swiss plate out. And you just undo it with this dial here, which is fine. And then what we're going to do is we're going to whack this on top of the camera. Get that nice and tight. And obviously you can lock it in place. Get your Echo Swiss camera or body that's already on there. Tighten this up. And now, as you can see, if I just move the camera to one side rather than moving the thing, I am literally at the perfect height for me, right at the level where it needs to be for the camera. So now, honestly, that's really, really good. Now, you might be thinking, well, how do you use the ball joint and everything like that? So there is two dials. There is one here and one here on this side. If I turn to the camera this way, you'll be able to see it. We have a slightly bigger one on this side here, which is more of like a star piece. And then we have a round one here. The round one controls side to side, which is really, really smooth, to be honest. It's almost gimbal-like, which is nice. And then the ball head one is obviously right here. Now, if I let that go too much, it's just going to literally drop the camera, as you can see there. Now, if I tighten it up a little bit, you can see now it's at a point where it's quite smooth. It's still a little bit jerky and janky compared to what a gimbal would be. But honestly, if you're like this and you're tracking stuff, it would actually be pretty good. It will actually be pretty fine. So I'm honestly quite happy with the way this ball head works. And if I was to be taking the tripod away with me somewhere, if I was to take this with me, I would probably, if I was going compact and lightweight, I would probably take the ball head over the gimbal head. But honestly, let's see how the gimbal head looks on this as well, and how the height on that is affected or adjusted. Because obviously, on the gimbal, it's slightly different sort of way of doing things as well. So if I just get this all tightened up and then start on doing this. One thing I will note as well on the old tripod, the actual head of the tripod, where you put the Arca Swiss gimbal, or you put the gimbal or the ball head on, is absolutely tiny in comparison. Whereas with this one, if I just pick it up to show you, you'll notice immediately it is about the same size. It's perfectly sized for this, for the gimbal head and also the ball head that came with this particular tripod. Now, I'm assuming most gimbal heads are all about, you know, this size, about the same size. So, well, how don't we get the gimbal head on here? Now, honestly, looking at it, the gimbal head is probably about the exact same size as the ball head, which is perfect. And that's just like that. Got that on there now. We can now undo this, which allows us to actually lift this up all the way up here. Now, what I will say is when this is fully extended like that, you can see it's quite unsturdy. But to be fair, the tripod's at its maximum height right now without that extension, and it's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So, again, let's get the gimbal, or get the camera, put it on the gimbal, and see where we're at height-wise. And again, perfect. Honestly, perfect. Yeah, I couldn't have asked for it to be at a more perfect height. Now, obviously, it's nowhere near as lightweight as this one. It won't ever be. But let's just say we're going to put it together and we're going to carry it around as it is. I forgot to lock the gimbal, so the camera's moving a little bit. But honestly, you could happily walk around with this, even fully extended, no issue. And it's quite lightweight. It's not too bad, even with the lens and camera attached to it and everything else. It's really not that bad of a deal. So, in all honesty, I'm very, very happy with it. First impressions. And it's very, very, very nice. Now, the fact you get two, if you buy the ball head, you get two Arca Swiss plates, which are identical, as you can see here. And they have the slots on the back for tightening them up with an Allen key and stuff like that. As well, if you really want to tighten it up to the camera properly. That's really great. We've got the gimbal on here. The only reason I won't be using this tripod will be when I'm actually going and I'm lying down in the dirt somewhere to get the shots with my ground pod, because I'll have the gimbal on my ground pod, not on the tripod. And to be fair, when I go to, you know, places like Martin Mere and stuff like that, ideally, I'd probably be using this rather than the tripod, simply because in certain instances, if you're in a hide, you put the ground pod on the window ledge of the hide, you put the gimbal on it, and it's at the perfect height to sit on the window edge, and you literally are able to get right on there and get the shots you need, which is fantastic. Now, let's have a look at some of the other stuff that came with it. Now, obviously, I don't use a lot of mobile phone shooting. Normally, if I was going to do a mobile phone shoot, I'd actually have the mobile phone touched, or I'd have the mobile attached to the top of the camera. I'll show you that in a minute. But normally, you know, obviously here you've got a way of clipping the phone on that way, so you can either have it like that, or if you want it the other way, there is actually a way of having it completely portrait as well. So depending on how you wanted to mount this, depending on how you wanted to do it, you could mount this to something and then have it mounted. Either you could mount this directly, you can mount that directly to the actual tripod itself and have it like this, or you'd be able to mount it to something else. And potentially, even looking at it, You could potentially even maybe even get it around the leg and have it mounted to the leg of the tripod, depending on the size and different things. But it looks like, to me, one of the best things. I mean, you wouldn't use this. I mean, you can't see it because of what I'm doing here, but I've just mounted the phone, as you can see here. I've just mounted the phone to that, and it's the wrong way around. But if it was the other way, you could kind of potentially, let me try that, just as a thought. Someone said about eBird and using Merlin and whatever else. You know, it might be a really good way, because that's where you can put your bag and everything else, like hook it on. But I'm just wondering, as a use case, is that a possibility to just hook this on? I mean, you kind of could. I mean, you can kind of see it through the chair there, but I can't really do anything about where the chair is. I can do that with the head, but yeah, you can kind of mount the phone like that and have it hanging. Now, I wouldn't want to leave it like that for too long, and obviously if you do it this way, actually that's perfect. If you have Merlin going, look at this. You've got your Merlin bird ID going, and you'd be able to literally have everything on the screen there, seeing what birds are coming in and whatever else, and it's literally just hanging off your tripod. So you could literally have the camera there and the phone there monitoring the birds, which is actually a really cool idea. But that's obviously the K&F Concept tripod that I put on the screen, the model number and everything on the screen, because it's the one thing that annoys me about K&F Concept is the fact that the tripods and everything else, the model numbers and everything are just kind of all over the place. I wish they would kind of do something about that. Now, I haven't looked into how to use the remote shutter, but I can't imagine it's very, very difficult. You'll probably have to link it up to some Wi-Fi device, and I imagine there's a battery in this. So we're just going to take a quick look at that. If I can get the bag open, that is. Flipping egg. So yeah, I've just got the little bag open. Yeah, there's a little battery thing in there, which has got a little battery in the back of it. And then it looks like there is an on and off switch. Yeah, so there is an on and off switch, which is on the back there, and then it lights up when it's ready. So obviously that's looking for something to pair to in terms of Bluetooth or whatever else, I imagine. And then you would be able to literally take a photo like that by pressing that button, which is really cool. I actually really like that feature, because one of the things that I was doing when I was in Iceland was I was using the EOS utility camera app to control the camera, to be able to literally take photos through the camera and everything else via an app, so I don't have to go and move the tripod when it was out in the cold. With this allows you to do that, but without having to drain the battery on your phone. You've just got one button to click and then it takes the photo for you. That's really, really handy, actually. So anyway, hope you guys have really enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and subscribe for more if you haven't already. If you do want to support the channel, there is a buy me a coffee link in the description. Anyone that does donate to that, you are just putting funds into the channel itself, and I'll be using them to go on trips, to go to different places, and, you know, more reserves and different places like that, traveling around and exploring and making more videos for you guys. So hope you guys have enjoyed. I will talk to you guys in the next one.